Hi everyone, I'm Michael Perch and I'm an associate professor at the University of Texas at Austin, and I record every one of my lectures. I put them on YouTube so that anyone interested in the discipline or any one of my students can review, or anyone working as a professional can learn new skills, or perhaps even folks who are not in school yet or could potentially be students would be inspired to go to school and to learn more. I'm all about open education. Anyway, today I'm kind of stoked. I'm excited. This will be my 100th lecture on YouTube, and I thought I should do something a little bit special for it. So what I decided to do, instead of a typical technical lecture like I give many of them, I thought I'd take a talk that I was invited to share with the graduating class from our department at the University of Texas at Austin last May. Now, this was a fun talk for me because typically for the last few years, there was a very good speaker. Dr. Balhoff had spoken about history and with some being kind of comical about it, history in our industry and so forth. And so it was a nice talk. I think there was some things thrown in there about some of the professors from our department and so forth. I thought I could not do that as well as Dr. Balhoff, but I thought I had some unique message because of recently coming from industry, and being a manager in industry, I knew something about how to be happy and successful in our industry. And so I decided to give a talk with my unsolicited advice to the graduating students on how to be happy and have a great career. Okay, let's see. I think this would be useful to almost anybody graduating from university and moving off into private or public sector, into real life and employment. So let's see what you think of this. I have to admit, I was also kind of excited because for Christmas, my family got me a brand new blue, it's the Blue Yeti microphone, and with the boom here, which is the Blue Compass boom, which is like super cool, kind of fun. So I was excited to try that out too. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. First and foremost, my main comment would be excited. We have an amazing industry. There's many amazing industries. There's so many great opportunities once you leave school. Now, of course, people who know me well know that I spent part of my life living in a underdeveloped country in what would be known as rapid unsurveyed urban developments, where there was a lot of people with very few opportunities. And so I'm always very optimistic because when I look at the country I live in now and the other countries I've been in, I see great opportunities. So I would say be excited. We have an amazing industry to work in. There are amazing opportunities available for you. And I personally, 13 years working in our industry, I very much enjoyed my career. People who know me well know I didn't leave industry because I was unhappy. I left to become a professor to give back, to the opportunity to be able to share what I thought I could share with the next generation, as my own awkward way. But so just one slide of bragging, just to set it up and say, okay, I think I have a perspective from which I can speak with some knowledge about success in our industry. And so I had a great technical and leadership managerial type of career. I faced technical challenges every day. I enjoyed them very much. I had great, amazing peers. In fact, one thing that struck me was when I first started to work in the research company there, many of the people on the left or the right side of me on the hall were the people I cited during my PhD. It was incredible, the great people I got to work with. My boss early on and through, actually intermittently throughout my entire career was Sebastian Strubel, an amazing worker in geostatistics, Morgan Sullivan, amazing, Brian Bracken, Henry Postmantier, just so many really, really great people to work with. World-class experts who were really fine individuals who taught me so much. Experiences, got to travel the world. I got to see amazing data everywhere I went, and always great training, mentoring, career development opportunities along the entire way. So I am sincerely excited if I look back and imagine myself in the position of somebody just graduating and going out right now. I'm excited for you and for your great opportunities. I'm optimistic. Now, this slide does get even more kind of bragging. And let me just say that I feel by many measures I had success during my career in industry. So I have something I think I can share. I think I know something. I promoted very well. I moved up very quickly through the ranks. I was rewarded for my work. Technological innovations I worked on were widely used in the company. And I had the chance to mentor and work with a lot of individuals. I had a great professional network. In fact, leaving industry was very, very hard from the perspective of just being torn out of that amazing network of professionals that you have within the company. Externally, I was very active. I wrote a book. I had patents, lots of papers, adjunct professor position. I was on PhD committees. I did a lot externally. And my future was looking pretty good in industry. I could forecast and see where I was trying to go, more of a fellow type of position, which would be like a chief engineering role. I want to remain technical, but things were going very well for me. Now, everyone's got their own path and things that they could share. You could replace me with so many great mentors I work with, and they would do a better job at this talk than I'm doing right now. But I think I have something to share, and everyone's got their own journey that they want to go on. But let me just speak from my own journey. Okay, so let's get into the heart of the topic. I'm going to share a variety of different concepts about, once again, the topic here being how to have a happy and successful long career after you finish with graduation. My first comment is stuff is going to go wrong. I know you work hard. I know you're focused. I know you're careful. You can be meticulous about everything, and there's still going to be things that go wrong. Now, the most important thing about things going wrong is what do you choose to do next? You get to choose between two loops. You got two loops you can pick. You got the victim loop, which is known as lower looping, and you got the accountability loop, which is known as upper looping. And so this is going to determine greatly who you are and how you do in your career, because we're all going to make mistakes. If we lower loop, the victim loop, what we're going to do is we're going to try to ignore or avoid. We're going to try to deny that something even went wrong. We'll try to rationalize somehow, blame and rationalize. We're going to resist, and we may even try to hide. Now, if we go along that entire loop, that's very destructive. That's not going to help the organization succeed, and it's not going to help you learn from the mistake that was made. The accountability loop is a beautiful loop, because what we do is we immediately recognize what went wrong. We own it. We take responsibility, we square up our shoulders, and we say, okay, I did this thing wrong. If there's other people associated with the mistake, you quickly forgive. Don't hang on if there was other people contributing to the mistake, or if you're in the position of management and you're looking at the individual who made the mistake, you're going to forgive. You're going to self-examine, see what can be done better, what can be done better for your team. You're going to learn, and you're going to take action. The accountability loop is a loop about learning. It's about owning our mistakes and learning from our mistakes. It's beautiful. Remember the loops, and remember to always upper loop. So friends are valuable and enemies are quite expensive. Conflict is going to happen in your career. In fact, if you think about it, there's so much pressure, there's so many demands, there's competing interests, there's multiple teams, there's trying to put it all together in a large organization. There's going to be offense. There's going to be things that you're going to take personally. What do? What's the best thing to do when you're offended? Well, you got to remove your pride from the equation. You got to realize that what part of your feelings are because of yourself versus what's best for the organization. You got to see the big picture. You got to always go back to what's the best value for the organization. Everybody's working to win together. It doesn't help when it turns into a turf war, or if it turns into you trying to build your kingdom or your empire. You also should learn conflict resolution skills early. Things like speaking in a clear, transparent manner, having emotional intelligence so you can understand when people are upset. Maybe you need to back off for a little bit and let them cool down. These are very valuable skills that can help you. But remember, any type of conflict, fighting within your organization is wasted energy. During my career in industry, I was known for the fact that I didn't fight with people. I got along with everybody. In general, I think if you ask around my old company, people liked me. And what was it? Well, people would ask me why I didn't fight with people. And I always said, I make way too much money to fight with anyone at work. My only goal here is to provide for my family, put my kids through college. What does fighting do to help me accomplish that? So here's a picture right here from my time in industry. It's a picture of all my enemies. It's of course a joke. I really can't think of anyone I didn't get along with. And what's funny was early on in my career, there were times that people aggravated me a bit or irritated me, and it felt personal. But what was fascinating was 5 years, 7 years later, those were the key individuals who spoke up for me to help me get some critical promotion. Keep your cool. It will literally pay off. And I believe that. I believe it was very beneficial. Here's another thought right here. Accept every challenge. Go into everything with an attitude of why not? Why not learn that new thing? Why not try that new thing out? Be enthusiastic. Be excited about it. Take on new challenges. Is it something you've never done before, but you think that you could build the skills and competencies? You could do it in a competent manner? Would it add value? Does it scare you? If it scares you, that's even better. Why does it scare you? The best thing to do is face some of your fears. If it's public speaking, well, guess what? The sooner you slay that public speaking dragon, the better you're going to be in your career. Does it lead to other additional opportunities down the line? I worked as a dairy farmhand for a year after high school. This was before I wandered around the world a bit. And I used to work, it was a German farm in rural Alberta, and Opa was there, Grandpa was there on the farm, and he was walking around helping out all the time, and he'd come up and tell me to do something, and I'd be, well, Opa, I've never done that before. And Opa would always look at me and say, it's about time you learned how. And it was go off and do it, just get it done. So some of the most interesting challenges I had within Chevron when I was working there was those times that I said, why not try something new? For an example, I got involved in studies about employment retention, Susan Howe and Eva Sprunt. I got involved in RSI studies that had a pretty big impact. There was a great chance to communicate across the corporation about repetitive stress injuries and keeping our people healthy from a statistical perspective. And if you think about it, leaving Chevron, just holding a box and my guitar on my back to go become a professor at University of Texas at Austin was probably one of the biggest challenges of my life. And I've been really grateful that I took on that challenge. It's a new path, a new journey, and who knows where it goes from here. Manage stress. Remember, we have picked this path. This path has huge opportunity and reward, but with that comes great responsibility. The stress that you experience in undergrad or graduate degrees is really training for the rest of your career. I had that feeling when I was an undergrad. When I get to work, it's going to be different. I'll spend more time work-life balance and caring for myself and so forth. Nope, it ain't going to get any better. It's going to always be high stress. Employee wellness services are available in many great companies. Coping tools, fitness centers, yoga classes that were free. Oh my gosh, making me homesick now for industry. Family assistance. If you've got a unique circumstance with your family that's impacting you at work, something with your children or with a loved one and so forth, you'd be surprised the level to which resources are available through employee assistance programs that are available to you. If there's an emergency, we had a hurricane go through Houston. Chevron gave me a generator when they found out that my family was without power for 2 weeks in Kingwood, Texas. It was amazing. Good companies care about their people, and they have all kinds of great ways to keep you healthy. Find that thing that makes you feel better. Enjoy those hobbies that refresh you. For me, it's the kayaking and having the silly Jeep with no doors and being able to enjoy kayaking with everyone around me. Those are things that make me happy. Find those things that make you happy and use that to help yourself be healthy. Remember, stress is going to be present. Find out early how you personally can cope with stress to have a successful career, because it's going to be with us the entire time. We have amazing jobs to do. Work-life balance. Now, this is from Brian Dyson. He was a former CEO of Coca-Cola, and he gave a Georgia Tech commencement talk in 1996. Now, there was a version of the story told to me by Dave Mercer, who was I believe, unit or division manager back when I was at Chevron, an amazing leader who shared so many great mentoring moments with me. I just appreciate Dave Mercer. I stay in contact with him on Facebook. Thank you very much, Dave. He actually gave me my first 2 kayaks. He caused me to catch the disease of kayaking. Okay. In our lives, we are juggling 5 balls. 4 of them are glass. We have 4 glass balls, and we have 1 rubber ball. The balls are family, health, friends, spirit, and work. Now, you can assign different labels, and you can think about what each of those labels mean to you. It can be quite personal. That's fine. I'm not here to suggest what they all mean. But the balls are different. The glass ball, if you drop it, it may be scuffed and cannot be repaired. It may even shatter, and it's gone. You can't replace it. The rubber ball is going to bounce back. You can be juggling the 5 balls, and you can drop the rubber ball. Boom, you catch it again. No harm done. Keep going. Of the 5 balls, which one do you think is the rubber ball? And it's totally true. The work ball is the rubber ball. You can back away from work. Now, we got to be professional. We got to be responsible and so forth. You got to communicate early. You've got to, work this appropriately. But there is the opportunity to back away from work when you need to. Others can support you. Others can help you when you need to do that. And you can drop that and you can pick it back up and you can keep going. But your family, your personal health, your friends, and your spirit, whatever that is to you, your connection with this world and the beauty and the greatness of it, that's something that we have to be careful with. Okay, good managers support work-life balance. Many of my review sessions were, Perch, you need to calm down a bit and you need to think more about work-life balance and you need to spend maybe less time in the office. And, I do appreciate those people who spoke up like that. And that's a wonderful thing about work. Be yourself. Now, I would say that we need to grow and learn professional behaviors for success. There are so many good things we can know about leadership and about communication and about working well and being great technically, that yes, we need to learn that. But within that, there is a huge amount of room to be yourself. Your interesting, fascinating, hilarious self. You'd be surprised when you get to know the other people around you when you're working, and you find out how incredible they are. Here are pictures of some of the people I worked with. A variety of different hobbies that they were engaged in. They were just amazing people doing very, very cool things. And I have a huge amount of respect for them. I worked with musicians, with athletes, writers, artists, conservationists. One person I worked with was a mixed martial arts fighter. I have to admit, there were a couple times I stood in the hallway and I wondered, hey, I wonder if I had to jump on them. No, I'm kidding around. I'm just kidding. I'm sure they would take me down pretty quick, but it was awesome. Just hearing these great experiences of the people doing just unbelievable things. I respected all of it. Your uniqueness is valuable to the organization. It causes you to be more creative. Whatever those things are, hold on to them. You don't have to become a drone. Nobody expects you to become just vanilla. Be your exciting, interesting self. Learn leadership skills early. Leadership skills are incredibly valuable, and it's surprising how technical and in-depth leadership skills are. That all of the great things that we can learn about leadership. Here are some concepts right here. Making your thinking transparent. Leveraging and encouraging participation from team members. Have you ever been in that meeting where you got that great leader in the middle of the meeting, who right at the very end says, "Hey, Jackie, you haven't said anything this meeting. What's on your mind? Is there something you'd like to contribute?" Drawing out ideas from everybody, letting everybody know that their ideas are welcome and are valuable. Building consensus in your team. If you do that, everybody's committed to action. Everybody moves forward together. It's beautiful. Motivating a group of professionals. Would you be surprised that you need to help motivate? It turns out you do. You can get the best out of your team if everybody's motivated. Everybody feels engaged. Forming and directing a strategy, that can be very challenging over the long term. How do you maintain that, manage that? How do you adjust? How do you know when to adapt versus to stay the course? Clear, concise communication. Everybody is a leader. And in my career, I've encountered many, many great leaders. Dave Mercer, Tim McHargue, Mitch Harris, all of these individuals, so many other leaders that when I was working with them and they started to take me aside and tell me about things I could do to succeed, my advice to you is find great leaders, watch them, mimic them, learn the way they behave, and try to be a bit more like them. There's reason. They've learned those behaviors because they lead to greater success. It's all correlated. Don't stop learning. Continue to learn. The science continues. Human discovery, human knowledge is expanding. Learn more about adjacent disciplines. You're more valuable if you know how to integrate your work with all of the other disciplines around you. Improve your integration with everybody else around you. You can pick to be a specialist still, but when you do, really go deep. Really learn everything about that topic that you can use. Stay relevant. I've seen people in my career who have done this very well. They continue to evolve. They're at the forefront of their scientific discipline 30 years after they graduated. That's wonderful. They're leading. And it returns me back to the comments made by Oprah. About time you learned how. Keep learning new things. Oprah told us, keep learning new things. Be active outside of your company. Publish papers, chair conference sessions, volunteer in a professional society. These are really great activities. It's going to help you with your professional development. But remember, the way you are valued inside of your company is going to be proportional to the way you're valued outside of the company. Remain visible. Don't become too entrenched inside of the company. Keep participating within the greater scientific community. And make sure you have a great support network. Maintain and build a support network in your personal life. Stay in contact with your friends as you go along from undergrad to grad school, if you do grad school, as you go from early career to mid to later career development. Keep building that contact of friends, professional peers. Surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with people who you want to learn their behaviors. You want to learn how they succeed. We can learn so much from each other. Choose wisely when it comes to those people who are going to be closest to you in your life, because they can be a great strength and they can really help you in making great choices. I remember when I got the offer to be an associate professor at University of Texas at Austin from the chair of our department, Dr. Olson. I was sitting on the phone. I had some details on a piece of paper where I said, this is the minimum at which I'll accept this position. And wouldn't you know it, darn it, they were right there. And I realized that I could accept the position. I could still put my kids through college and do everything important to me. And I walked away from that and I said, well, but maybe I don't. Maybe I won't do this. And my wife, Toby, we've been together for 24 years, looked at me and she said, you have to take it. You have to take it. You always regret it if you don't. So thank you, Toby. Okay. It will go very, very fast. It's a blink of an eye for me. And I was sitting in the same chairs as the students that I'm teaching right now. And all of my mentors who are now, many of them retiring happily, quite happily, are telling me just how quick it went for them too. This is what they told me. They told me there's going to be highs and lows, but you're going to win on average. Now, I put statistical expectation because I thought that sounded cool, but look at the big picture. smooth out in your mind, smooth out all of the drops, the holes and the hills. And what you're going to realize is that on average, it was great. It was great. One of my favorite mentors who retired while I was still at Chevron took me out for lunch and said to me, Michael, it was all about the people. And that stuck with me. That's actually one of the reasons I became a professor, because I realized that opportunity of having broad impact on a large number of people, kind of unbeatable. And as a professor, there's so many people that you can impact and help. But it will go fast. It's going to go fast. Enjoy every day of it. All right, so that is my talk on how to have a happy and successful career after graduation. I hope that was useful to you. But I do think that there's some valuable ideas here. If you have other ideas of things I should share, they may invite me to give this talk again. If they do, it wouldn't hurt to have a couple more ideas that I could share with them. If you have something, go ahead and fire me an email or a DM on Twitter or on any other LinkedIn or any other methodology. All right, I hope that was helpful to you. I'm Michael Perch. I'm an associate professor at the University of Texas at Austin, and this was video number 100 on my YouTube channel. Here's to another 100 next year. All right, everybody take care. Have a great new year.